Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard the SOS Small Business Success Podcast. I'm your host, Bonnie Bonadeo, and today it was May. Welcome to May. Happy May. I love the month of May. I love the month of April, and I love the month of June. June is my birthday month, so I really love that one. But I like all warm, hot summer months. Those are the ones that are good for me. So, all right, welcome to the podcast today. As always, we're all about making sure that we're building brands that survive while developing people that thrive. And I know that branding, the word, is all over the place, overused everywhere, but it's still very relevant. And I want you to think about it from these terms. Branding your business is creating that foundational connection to your community, to your ideal clients. I say branding is sales with a soul. So it's personal, it's about you. It's not about what you offer, what you're selling. It's about who you are and what your contribution is to this community, to this environment, to the results that you're trying to achieve. So if you're in beauty, like I represent, most of my clients are represented in the beauty industry. I'm in the beauty industry. Then what we are striving for is beauty, okay? To have everybody look their best, feel their best, okay? And we do that, we say that building brands that survive while developing people that thrive is because there's really an opportunity for your brand to outgrow you, to be bigger than you, okay? And when you can do that, it really represents that thrive mentality. Now, last week we talked about the salons of the future, and we tapped into the article that's going around about Amazon opening up salons in the UK and in Canada. And here's the interesting thing. Amazon can open up salons all day long, everywhere, anywhere. They would be considered brick and mortar locations that might have a level of sophistication to them. But the truth is, if you want your hair done, cut, colored, shampooed, it still requires a professional person and a human being to do that. So although Amazon can make the outside look great, the inside look great, there's still a human connection to all of that. When we talked about that, I think that really kind of like put things into perspective for us. So then today we have to talk about if we're actually in this point of some strategy where operations is our topic today, then we have to be able to look at operations as how savvy do we need to be in order to compete with an Amazon salon. And if I asked you right now, what do you think Amazon's brand is? What is their brand identity? Okay, think about it for a second. And if you say something like, this is mostly what I get for the answers, I get everything. They sell everything. Their brand identity is that everything is available from them. And it's true, but the truth of their brand identity is that they have operational excellence. They are an operationally excellent company, because they wouldn't be able to sell everything and have it delivered in 2 to 3 days if they didn't have operational excellence. Okay. Now we know this as consumers because we could seriously buy something from somebody else, but then we go to Amazon because we know, we trust their operational excellence that we're going to get it. We're going to get it in 2 days. It's going to be of quality if it's something that we ordered that makes sense, instead of buying it from maybe some manufacturer that we don't know who they are, or some distributor that we don't know who they are, and it takes 2 weeks to get it. Okay, that's not operational excellence. But before that was just a standard. So Amazon has raised the bar on operational excellence. So we're going to talk a little bit today about operational excellence, and I'm going to narrow it down even more so to employees understanding operational excellence, okay? Because right now there's a lot of migration going on where employees are literally moving, going away, going to suites, opening up their own places, moving down the street. There's just a lot of migration happening right now. So today the title is Dear Crew. Let's get started. All right, Dear Crew. The seas may be bluer, calmer, clearer across the way, but you have to understand being a captain of a boat first. The illusion of more freedom, flexibility, and money is a pirate's curse. And when you have the knowledge in the following areas, you may possibly succeed. There's no guarantee you will find the treasure that you're hunting for by going out onto your own. The size of your new boat does not matter. Being a captain and managing a boat requires the same skills to survive. So whether it's a big yacht or a small motorboat or even a rowboat, you're being a captain of it, you living on it, you putting yourself through all of the elements and exposing yourself to all of the possibilities is going to be the determining factor of whether you survive or not. And if you're going to open up your own business, just because it's smaller doesn't mean you have to, you can't, or you shouldn't, or you don't have to do all of the same tasks that a bigger salon would have to do. So, all right, matey, let's look at these skills. Now, you know, each and every week we talk about one of these 5 categories: sales, operation, mindset, marketing, and education. Today, we're talking about operation, and we're going to figure out ways to be operationally excellent here. All right, so Thank You Strategies. I'm going to give them credit. This is their article that they have on one of their websites here, and it says the 10 reasons why they leave. And they're referencing, of course, why stylists leave salons, okay? They have a different end result and outcome than I'm going to share, but I just want to make sure I'm acknowledging strategies for these 10 reasons. All right, so number 1, they don't feel valued and appreciated. Number 2, tired of the drama. Number 3, culture has deteriorated. Number 4, no longer challenged. 5, fairness or unfairness. Everyone's held to a different standard. 6, the future looks the same. It's getting boring. 7, little or no feedback on performance, on how to grow, how to be better. 8, the owner lose sight of the vision. 9, the owner made it all about numbers. And 10, that the idealism of working in a suite looks better than working for somebody else. And here's the truth. Every single one of those 10 reasons why people leave is valid. And if you look back, if you're an owner right now, I want you to look at the last few people that left you, and I bet you 2 or 3 of those apply, right? And if you're somebody that just left, I bet you 1 or 2 of those apply to you as well, all right? And even though they're all valid, one of the things we have to be really careful with right now is this anti-employee approach. So I saw this post the other day on Facebook, and the post was, you know, I'm just starting out. I'm thinking about just going into or I'm moving somewhere. Anyway, they didn't have a clientele is what it boiled down to. And they were moving to a new area, and they're like, how can I build up a clientele really fast if I choose to go into a rental situation, or, you know, do I need to go work for somebody? And somebody had suggested, go work in a salon that's really busy and then open up your own place once you build up a clientele. And I kind of fired back on that one. And I just said, you know what, if you don't learn to fish for yourself, you will never be able to survive. And going in and working for a busy salon, building up your clientele, poaching those clients, and then going into your own place is not really a very healthy approach to having the level of success that you want. Now, there is a transition and a migration, as I was talking about, that everybody eventually may go through, because people don't stay working for the same person forever. Let's face it, it's not true. It's never going to happen. And although a suite may be very compelling to go into, it is falsely portrayed and generally misrepresented as to what you're buying into, okay? So the first thing I want you to think about before we kind of break this down into these 5 key strategies here that you'd have to be in order to be a really good captain of your own ship, is I want you to think about the support you'll no longer have, okay? So owner support, manager support, front desk support, maybe cleaning people support, maybe assistance support. Like all of that immediately goes out the window when you decide to go on your own. So now you have to think about all of the roles that they play. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So now I know the suite sounds good, but here's my list for you guys to think about, all right? The first one is our category of sales, all right? So here's some questions I want to ask you. 1, did you build your clientele 100% all by yourself? 100%, which means you came in with absolutely 0 clients and you were responsible for every single client that sits in your chair. You found them, you solicited them, you had clients refer them to you that liked you, You did everything you could. You passed out business cards, you market, you do all that stuff. If you can say that you built your clientele 100%, then you probably are going to succeed. Even 90% and maybe even 80% if you built 80% of your clientele. If it's anything less than 80% and the salon actually built the clientele because that's their job, the salon's job is to be in motion every single day of creating opportunities for clients to be able to come into that salon and visit. Everything from the hours of operations, the phone number, the being able to book online, the marketing that they're doing, the street signs, any other, direct mail or connections or community collaborations that they have. Everything that a salon owner is doing is to fill chairs, butts and seats, okay? So if you did not build your clientele 100%, are you capable of continuing to build a clientele? Because you're going to need to know how to do that. Second question, do you sell 15% or more in retail to your client? So that 15% is based on your service dollars. So if you did $1,000 of service dollars in a week, did you sell $150 of retail that week as well to those clients? Okay. $150. It seems very reasonable. You should be able to do this. There shouldn't be any reason with it. I know most of you don't like to sell. I know most of you don't find it worth it. But if you're going to go out on your own, you have to understand the profit margin that is in selling retail, because it's kind of like, the cake, and then here's the icing, and then the cherry on top, and maybe a little whipped cream and nuts and everything. It's all of that additional profit. So it means that you can work smarter, not harder. So I know most people go into suites and they don't bother getting a retail line or setting up themselves to be able to sell retail, or even think that selling retail is important. Okay. And what you're doing is you're losing an enormous amount of profit margin that you could be having, that you could be working smarter, not harder. But here's the second part to that question, part B. Do you ask 100% of your clients to buy certain things every single time, every single client? Do you at least offer one product to them every single time? And if you're not doing that, that's another thing that you might want to learn to do. Question 3, this is still in the sales category. Do you pre-book 75% more of your clients? Do you have a pre-booking ratio of 75% or higher? If not, you're going to need to learn to sell your clients on pre-booking their appointments so that they're not texting you on Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning or Friday night at 9 in the evening to get an appointment for tomorrow or next week sometime. Okay, you're going to pre-book their appointments, and you're going to have to learn to sell pre-bookings in order to manage your time, manage your money, and manage your craziness. Okay, and then the question part B to that is, do you ask 100% of them? So not everybody is going to pre-book, but do you even ask them all? Let's get you pre-booked for 6 weeks down the road, or I'd like to pre-book you 8 weeks down the road. Let's get you on the calendar now so you don't have to worry about trying to squeeze in with my schedule. Okay, that type of thing. Now, these would be sales skills. If you haven't developed these sales skills, you might need to work on that, all right? Second, operations. Do you have systems, guidelines, policies ready to go and in place for your clients to follow? In other words, how you set up this approach of how they're going to communicate with you is how you're teaching them to do business with you. So if you want them to text you at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday and 9 o'clock on a Friday night and, midnight on a random Wednesday, then fine. If that's what you want. If you want to be working 24/7, great. But if not, you want to be able to set up system guidelines, policies in place for your clients to understand how you do business. You teach them how to do business. So that would be hours, phone numbers, online booking approaches, confirmation processes, cancellation processes and policies, menus and pricing. So every time I see one of these text messages where somebody's like, how much do you charge for this? okay, then I know what you don't have is operational excellence. Because if they knew who you were and they are searching you online and you have, let's say they search you on Instagram or Facebook, you should have your website right there plain as day for them to be able to click on it to see their pricing menu. Okay? I know people are lazy too. I know you probably have it on there and they still text you that. But then you sit there and dialogue with them instead of saying, please refer to my pricing menu. Here's the link that you can find it. Okay. Do you have inventory systems in place? Because at this point, you want to make sure that you have products and supplies on your shelves. Okay. Now, if you work in a salon, you've got a plethora of products to choose from. But if you're on your own, all of a sudden now it's like, I don't have that much money to be spending on all these products. I just have to kind of like piecemeal products as I know based on clients that are coming in. But do you have a system to be able to do that? Are you prepared to be able to do that? Do you have finance in place for banking, payments, payroll, tipping, loans, taxes? Yes, payroll, because you got to pay yourself. Okay. You still have to be able to say, I'm going to pay myself a, salary of this, or, an hourly wage of this based on my week's end or 2 weeks or month end type of work here. Okay. Do you have a fixed yet flexible schedule in place that's time for business hours, not hair hours or service provider hours, not behind the chair, but these are hours that you're working on the business, not in the business, okay? And then of course there's things like business insurance, legal support, accounting support, tax support. All of these people now become necessary for you to be able to do it. So systems sell when you can't be selling. All right, the more systems you have in place, the more things can be selling themselves and you don't have to be worrying about them. Again, it's good practice for these things. All right, number 3, mindset. Are you prepared for more outlay of cash? Can you manage cash flow? Do you understand profit and loss statements? Do you have a money mindset? Can you pick yourself up when things are down? Do you have a life happens mindset? Can you commit time, money, energy, and resources to grow your business every day, every week, every month, every year? Do you have a discipline mindset? Can you handle critique, complaints, and bad behavior from certain people? Do you have a leadership mindset? Can you wear 5 hats at any given time? Do you have an entrepreneurial mindset? And number 4, marketing. Do you have a clear and concise, easy to share brand? Do you understand marketing strategies? Do you have money for marketing tools, websites, CRM systems, booking systems, text tools, ads, printed materials? Do you know how to source, find, and book new clients? Do you have a system or a marketing strategy in place that finds clients, then sources them, and then allows them to book? Okay. And will you devote time to marketing and branding your business every week? It's one of the hats you're going to have to be wearing. Okay. One of the hats. Because what you have to be able to understand is that even though we're an in real life business, how you grow your business is going to be digital. It's going to be a URL approach. Okay, you're going to grow your business digitally. You have to have reviews. You have to have systems in place, confirmations, bookings. You have to have ability to be able to keep track of what you're using on your clients so that you have records of them. All of these things are necessary in order for you to be operationally excellent. Okay. All right, and number 5, education. What do you need to learn before you take this giant leap of faith to, jump and ship and go, owning your own boat? Can you budget educational expenses or even expert support? How will you learn new technical skills, and how much are you now willing to pay for this? If you worked in a salon that provided a lot of education, a very foundational support to education, how are you going to get this education now? Or are you going to leave and appreciate all that education that you didn't bother to attend that was available to you at any given time? Because here's the thing, when you go out on your own, nothing is free. You have to be prepared to pay to learn and pay to know how to grow your business and to be profitable. All right. So we're talking about not only, nothing in the past applies. We're talking about today, the present, and how you're going to move forward in the future, and how you're going to budget all of these things so that you can make it happen. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of everything you don't do that you would have to do if you were going to survive on your own. Now, for my salon owners and other small business owners that are listening to this, I want you to make a list of everything that you offer and provide your team that is part of that percentage of you investing in this business, you investing in them. And then I want you to be able to, like for salon owners, I want you to feel really good about everything you're offering and the clarity of that, okay? For those of you that might be considering going out on your own, I'm just gonna ask you, is this really your future? Is this really what you wanna do? And it's okay if it is. Just be prepared. So write these 10 things down that, I said everything, but write 10 things down, okay? And then I want you to add up what the approximate cost of those 10 things are gonna be. Okay, this is gonna be the start of your very simple little one-page budget that you're gonna focus in on, all right? Okay, guys, so I get, as I'm married to a salon owner, so I understand this. I'm the marketing manager for a salon. I'm also a coach for many other salons. And I've been in the salon business for 40 years. So I understand this evolution that's happening. I understand the opportunity to go and grow on your own. And there's a lot of resources out there to be able to help you. And I certainly want to be one of those resources. So if I am one of those resources for you, here's what you can do. If you're a salon owner or a suite stylist, let's say that you did take the jump, or you're somebody that's ready to take the jump and you just need a little bit more assistance of how to make sure that you're on the right track. If you're struggling with any one of these things and you need to get the support, I want you to book a free session with me, a free coaching session. And we're going to focus in on one of these areas: sales, operations, mindset, marketing, education, or we'll tap into a couple of them, and we'll look at where you need to be in order to feel secure that you're moving forward, in order to feel secure that you're growing your business. And how you do that is you go to SOSSaloncoaching.com, SOSSaloncoaching.com, click on the link that says, I want my free session, and it'll go right to my calendar. And I certainly look forward to spending some time with you and meeting you, because if you're going to do it, I want you to do it right. If you're going to do it, I want you to do it with integrity. If you're going to do it, I want you to do it because even if it's one of those 10 things that we talked about in the early session of this podcast, if it's one or two or three of those 10 things, then it's time. It might be time for you to spread your wings and grow. But you know what? You got to do it right. And I know that you're going to learn as you go, but at least start with a good foundation of what's next for you. All right. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. I'll see you next week. This is the SOS Salon Coaching and Small Business Podcast. Again, I'm all about helping you build your brand to survive while developing you to thrive. See you soon.